This is Mama Squirrel. Harsh morning light there, Mama. This is the squirrel. You see the ear that looks like it has a bite out of it. You remember her from the video where she was sprawling out on the table to cool down when I was shooting her earlier this summer. People had commented she's rather large and bulky. Well, she was probably pregnant at that time, because now you can see she's pretty much nothing but skin and bones, but she's got babies up here in the oak tree. Yeah. And came back for a little bit to visit Florida, and she's here hungry. Aren't you, Mama? Usually they have 3 or 4 squirrel kittens. And it's kind of unusual. They have kind of unusual times here in our backyard. I mean, they have 2 litters a year, usually in the middle of summer and at the end of winter. Like you'll see them in the nest in February and then in October. So I think she's a little bit early, but it's also the time of year, August. Well, it's now the 1st of September. The time of year here in the backyard in Florida when the food is at a minimum. All the fruit has been, all the fruit is done. The fruit trees are empty. The nuts from last winter are pretty much gone. So you can see she's pretty much skin and bones. And those of you who saw her in the other, I'll link to the other video in the description. And you notice that some people have commented I'm a little bit hard to hear sometimes, but yeah, my nature is to talk rather slowly and calmly out in the nature, just to make things less disruptive. There's no need to talk loud and make a big announcement. Mrs. Squirrel is, you can see she's trying to pack as many sunflower seeds in her as she can. And at this point, I gave her a few peanuts, but you can see how skinny she is. And like I said, she's got to provide milk for probably at least 3 or 4. And so sunflower seeds at this point are probably the best staple. Don't want to overdose her on peanuts. Yeah. Good stuff, Mama Squirrel. And this is morning, so get that harsh morning light on the squirrel platform, don't we? Actually, I'm filming her on my phone, and I'm only like 6 inches away from her, so sometimes when I'm filming on the phone I forget and I get a little too close, and she says back off, so I'm going to back off a little bit here. She's like, get that phone out of my face, buddy. You can see she's ravenous, with good reason. And what's interesting is they're not using the squirrel nest boxes that I went to great trouble to put up for them. I think because they think they're more, they're less. I think the nest box in the tree is actually less safe than their natural nest box way up high in the tree. It's made out of leaves and little sticks and stuff, because the nest box is pretty easy for a snake or the rats to get into. And if she's away from her nest, the snake can get in there. We don't have really big rats here, but they can still get in there and cause trouble. But I think mostly the snakes. That's why they call them rat snakes, and baby squirrels are a little snack for them. You can hear the cicadas out there. It's cicada season. And I'm getting ready to go on a big road trip, hopefully here in the near future. And it's nice to be able to see Mrs. Squirrel and give her some food and help her along the way before I take off. Because I always think of the birds and squirrels back in the Florida house when I'm gone. Of course, there's plenty. They can fend for themselves, especially the squirrels and the blue jays. Ooh. When it comes to video and photography, it's all about the light. I mean, today the light this morning is harsh. It's going to be another scorcher today, Mrs. Squirrel. And this squirrel, it's really easy to tell who she is because she's got that bite out of her left ear. And she's over 2 years old, which is pretty unusual. I mean, I think the longest I've ever known an individual squirrel has been about 3 years, so hopefully she'll be around for a few more years. But their lifespan is relatively short in the wild. Okay, Miss Squirrel. And there she is in all her glory in the shade a little bit. Hey! Okay. Well, let Mama Squirrel eat in peace. Talk to you later, Mama Squirrel.